bullying has been a great problem for the U.S. Today, by a study, 28% of students from grade 6 to 12 had experienced bullying, and 20% from grade 9 to 12 has also experienced bullying. There's many different types of bullying, like cyberbullying. 9% from grades 6 to 12 had experienced cyberbullying, and this year 15% of high schoolers had also experienced it. But 55.2 LGBTQ students has also experienced cyberbullying.
Ty Field was known as a happy kid. He enjoyed hunting, riding dirt bikes, and playing video games. Ty was an 11-year-old who had been being bullied all of his elementary school career. One day he decided he was going to stand up for himself, which got him suspended from school. A few hours later, Ty took his own life due to being pushed around and called names.
Bullying is not a joke. If you know someone, or if you are being bullied or know someone who's being bullied, please go talk to your teachers, counselors, or someone you know who can help you. Another problem with young students is underage drinking. Based on data between 2006 to 2010, 1,580 motor crashes has been caused by underage drinking. 1,269 has died from homicides. 245 had died from alcohol poisoning, and 492 has died from suicides.
Jacqueline Separado was born in Venezuela as an only child. She was headed home from a birthday party with a few friends in Austin around 4 in the morning on September 19, 1999. When Reggie Steffi drifted across the center line and hit Jacquees' friend Natalie Bennett's car. Natalie Bennett and Laura Guerrero died at the scene, and Jacquees suffered third-degree burns, which was over 60% of her body after the car caught on fire.
Luxury Beats.
To prevent underage drinking, I recommend you do not let them get in the vehicle or drive with them in the vehicle. Approximately 50% of teenagers has used drugs in the last year. 23.6% of 12th graders has reported using dangerous drugs in the last year. 34.9% of 12th graders has reported using marijuana in the last year. 33% of adolescents are able to obtain or abuse prescribed opioids painkillers.
Mental health between adults and kids have really become a problem within the years. 1 in 5 adults have a mental health condition. That is over 40 million Americans. Rates of youth with severe depression have increased from 5.9% in 2012 to 8.2% in 2015. 76% of youth are left with no treatment. The most common mental health issues are anxiety and depression. Anxiety and depression include panic disorder and social anxiety. Some warning signs of a mental health issue is mood changes, sleep change, loss of interest, and withdrawals.
Luxury Beats.
Teen violence has also become out of hand. 4,828 young people ages 10 to 24 were victims of homicide. 82.8% of youth homicides were committed with a firearm. Nationwide, 5.9% of teens have missed school due to feeling unsafe. In 2004, 1/3 of high school students reported being involved in a fight.
They can get to know their students. They can get to understand where the kids are coming from. Watch, make sure you see what's going on, keep your eyes open, and bottom line, show some respect.
One of the biggest things any of our teachers can do to prevent behavior problems with students is get to know the students, where they're coming from, what their backgrounds are, what their interests are. And by doing so, you can help the kid avoid potential conflicts, potential problems. If you get a good idea of what their interests are, you might be able to make some suggestions to a student, whether it's programs to the Boys and Girls Club, some of the extracurricular activities that we have here. So it's really crucial to get our young people involved so they're not just hanging around on the street.
Well, I think what's most important first and foremost is that a school itself creates a culture of learning and respect with their students. Then separately within the classroom itself, the teacher creates that classroom climate where expectations are set really high for learning and also expectations for respect.
I think the most proactive thing a teacher can do to prevent behavior problems is to set up a system of rules ahead of time, clearly state them to the class, and then be consistent about enforcing them.
I don't really think they have. I think the kids are the same kids, different bodies with the same needs.
What it means to be disrespectful. There's not a consistent definition between kids of what it means to be respectful and what it means to be disrespectful. And that's something that we're trying to help kids to understand. You can not necessarily respect somebody, but you still want to conduct yourself in a respectful manner.
I do believe that the advent of social media and the easiness in which students are accessing it during the day kind of leads to this type of drama building much more quickly. It doesn't allow students to have the time to really think about situations that occur. If they're having a conflict with a friend, they don't have time to step back and really reflect on how important that conflict is.
They can be kind to each other.
I think everybody has to take responsibility for their own behaviors. If they can own their actions, and a lot of my discussion with my students when they get themselves into situations, we kind of revisit how it started. And if I can get my students to the point that they say, yeah, you know what, I could have handled that differently. So now I get the student in a place that they own their actions. They're taking responsibility for it. Sometimes there's got to be consequences. And if they can take that learning and then be role models out in school or out in the community.
I think when you treat people with kindness and you ask them questions and you ask them how their day is, I think that makes a really big difference in just how somebody feels. You never know where they came from and you never know what they might have dealt with that morning or the night before. So reaching out with a kind hand makes a giant difference.
Other students can be good role models, and they can make it so that behaving in school and education is important and cool.
The biggest behavioral problem is disrespect. Kids think they can talk to teachers any kind of way and that it's okay, and it's just not.
So, it's a lot about role models, and that we have to explain to the kids what good behavior looks like, what respectful behavior looks like, and hope that can carry out into the streets or out into their homes as well.
It's not listening and not understanding the consequences of your actions. So, blowing off an assignment or telling a teacher, like, I'm just not doing that, at the time might be, might seem like the easy way out, and it might seem like, I have so much to do, I have so much going on in my life, then I can just skip these few things and just kind of move on with my day.
Students wandering the halls when they're supposed to be in class.
Luxury Beats.
With conversation, respect, and showing dignity and expecting them to do well.
Well, I try to take a restorative approach, and that means it's the opposite of a punitive approach. I really don't like to punish kids. You know, one of my goals is to get my students into the classroom, so it's counterintuitive to send them home for 3 days if they make a mistake. So again, I'd like to have those conversations with the students and get them to the point that they can say, yeah, you know what, I should have handled that differently.
I think first of all, it takes one-on-one conversations. It takes building those relationships with students, getting to know them on a personal basis, so that when they're having a rough day, you know them well enough to say like, okay, take 5 minutes, go out in the hall, take a breather, and come back in, and not kind of engaging in conflict yourself, kind of taking a step back and trying to understand why the student is upset.
I try to be really consistent about my rules, no matter who it is. I listen if there's an extenuating circumstance, but mostly the rule is the rule because I tell them it's not fair for all of these people if I don't do it for you.